In a second State of the Union address Tuesday night, U.S. President Donald Trump laid out an agenda that included calls of bipartisan cooperation and unity. But he also slammed what he called ridiculous partisan investigations and stood firm in his demand for a wall along the country's southern border. White House correspondent Patsy Widakuswara reports.
Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Trump broke with tradition and began his State of the Union speech without waiting to be introduced by the Democratic Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, with whom he clashed with in recent weeks.
We must reject the politics of revenge, resistance, and retribution.
As is the norm, Trump gave a long list of achievements.
There's nothing anywhere in the world that can compete with America.
But immigration soon came to the forefront, an issue Trump is fighting with Democrats who continue to deny his demand for $5.7 billion border wall funding.
In the past, most of the people in this room voted for a wall, but the proper wall never got built. I will get it built.
The wall feud partially closed the government for 35 days. If no deal is reached by February 15th, another government shutdown looms.
He didn't give the Democrats anything that they wanted to hear. He didn't make any offerings. He didn't propose any compromises. I don't think he moved anyone any closer towards a solution for keeping the government open.
Female lawmakers of the Democratic Party wore white to mark the suffragette movement that led to women's right to vote. Most of them did not clap during the speech, except when Trump extended an olive branch and noted that a century after suffragette, a record number of women are serving in Congress. On foreign policy, Trump expressed support for regime change in Venezuela and touted what he considered his successes, including the trade war with China, the U.S. withdrawal from a nuclear treaty with Russia, the reduction of tensions with North Korea, and the continuing pressure on Iran. Trump outlined elements of a bipartisan agenda, such as boosting infrastructure, giving paid family leave, lowering the cost of health care, eradicating HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, and childhood cancer. But he also pushed for issues important to his political base, including legislation prohibiting late-term abortions, and slammed the investigation into possible collusion between his presidential campaign and Russia during the 2016 election.
If there is going to be peace and legislation, there cannot be war and investigation.
Stacey Abrams, who narrowly lost a bid in November to be Georgia's governor, delivered the Democratic response highlighting access to voting rights.
We must reject the cynicism that says allowing every eligible vote to be cast and counted is a power grab.
From marriage equality, health care to confronting racism, Abrams laid out her party's agenda.
I think it sent a message that this is the Democratic Party of today. A woman of color, a woman who comes not from the politician class.
Another notable moment, possibly the first in a State of the Union address, lawmakers breaking out in song. For one of the president's guests, Pittsburgh Synagogue Massacre survivor Judah Samet on his 81st birthday.